been putting so much time into your Etsy shop, so what can you do to finally start seeing results? In today's video, I'm going to dive into your Etsy shops and show you exactly why you are not seeing results. We're going to stop spinning our wheels, and I'm going to give you 10 profitable action steps that you can take in your shops today to start moving forward. If you're new here, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dylan Jarvis, and I'm an Etsy seller of 7 years. Now, I have sold over $1.5 million in revenue on the platform. That's not really what matters, it's the profit, right? So it's over $1 million in profit. And my entire background is corporate e-commerce. So I work for big companies like Zappos and Zulily, and I've taken everything I've learned from corporate e-commerce and applied it to Etsy. And now I'm teaching almost 1,500 Etsy sellers just like you how to scale their businesses. About half the people I help, they're smaller shops or just starting out. The other half of people are much larger shops. So some of them are doing already over $1 million in revenue when they come to me. But everyone's looking for high income and consistency. So in today's 10 steps that I'm going to give you, you should apply these to your shop and start getting that traction, and then come to me and we'll take your shop to the next level. So my challenge for you is to, number one, subscribe to the channel. So hit the subscribe button so that you hear about all the future videos. And number two, I want you to leave a comment on this video with your Etsy shop name. And then I want you to write next to your shop name if it is a hobby or if you're doing it full time. In a future video, I want to take apart kind of all of the part-time shops and what I would recommend to make it potentially full-time. And then I'm also going to make another video of the full-time shops and speak to how I would recommend getting their business to scale more consistently. So let's dive into the 10 steps for today with your shops. So the first shop here, number one thing I would want to focus on with them is branding. You can tell the product is great, high quality, handmade, right? But the branding piece is lowering the perceived value of the product. That's the number one thing I'd want to help them with. I'm also noticing that they do have some higher price point items in here, which is great because when you are a handmade shop, you really want to focus up on driving up your hourly wage. I see they have kind of a range of items, but they're high price point items. We ideally want to help them sell more of these, but there's things that you have to do when you're selling items over $200, $300 that will really help drive up your conversion and make it an easier decision. So within the listing itself, there's things that I would want to help her with to increase that conversion rate and to answer any questions, because any outstanding questions, most people aren't going to message the seller about, they're just going to move on. So we want to eliminate the need for a customer to ask questions before they can purchase. The next thing we'd want to focus on is getting this person's hourly wage as high as possible, because this looks like a very time-intensive process for creating these items. Also, if she's a one-person show, what is her hourly wage, right? After all her costs and expenses and everything, I think there's a lot we could do within the shop to really drive that up. I have another pottery-based shop out of Florida as well. They were able to 20x their revenue within 6 months of working together and having a dynamic product mix as well as elevating their branding. Those are two of the same exact things we did for them. So I would want to do the same thing with her. All right, with the next shop, these are some higher price point items. This only has 8 listings, very interesting mix. And what I'm seeing is that with the way the listings are presented, it's really kind of impossible for the customer to know exactly what they will receive. There's a lot, like this is the description, right? There's so much missing information that's preventing people from buying. So as it is, people aren't going to buy this. So really we would want to go in, overhaul the listings. It wouldn't take very long. There's only like 8 listings, oh my gosh, and update them and update all the photos, update everything about the listing, the description, the SEO, so that it'll actually get found. It will be an easy decision for the right customer, right? There's customers out here for everything, right? So no matter how interesting something is or unique something is, there's someone out there who would want it. So I would say a lot to do to increase the conversion rate and make it something that is able to be purchased. If someone saw it, they liked it, they couldn't even make the decision based on so much missing information. So that's what we'd want to help them with. All right, this shop is really interesting. They have a mix of physical products. Looks like they have a laser, which excites me so much because I'm a laser-based business. And from what I've seen, the 3 most profitable tools for an Etsy shop are a laser, an embroidery machine, and a 3D printer. If you have the ability to personalize something on Etsy, which they clearly do, with a laser, you can make literally so much money. What she's missing though is a dynamic product mix. So going through her shop, it has 92 listings, which is, I mean, it's a good start, but we need more than that. And I would say there's some easy low-hanging fruit of things we could add in. There's a framework I have, and it's called the 7 types of products to have in your shop, where we really have different listings that have different purposes. So sometimes the purpose of a listing is just to get your order number up, that number under your shop name. And then sometimes the purpose of a listing is to really scale your revenue. I would say she's got a lot of good things in the mid-range, right? Mid-price point items, but we are missing a couple really essential things. The number one type of product that'll drive up her order number, and the number one type of product that will drive up her revenue. Now, she has a laser, so she has the ability to do both, and to do both easily. Those two things on each end of the spectrum are missing. And once she adds those in, I think we could blow her shop up pretty quickly based on my experience by helping her with her product mix. Definitely SEO is something huge that we would want to implement right away. That's probably a huge reason that she only has 651 orders right now. And then within her current listings, there's so much she can do. Look at that. There's so much she could do within this listing to drive up the average order value, even of this one listing, without adding any other products to get her AOV up, which is a big priority that I would focus on, especially if she's kind of like a one-person shop or maybe has a pretty small team. So to me, she's sitting on like a gold mine of opportunity. If this is your shop, I'd love to talk to you. All right, next, there's like so many easy wins for this shop. Number one thing that we need to do here is get these products outside in natural light for the photos. The photos are the biggest thing holding them back easily. Take away all these props, way too much going on with the props. Getting these out in natural light would be a game changer. Yeah, I mean, these would look 20 times better instantly if we could do that. And then I think this person actually has the skills to do this full time. I see a lot of potential. I see she's noticing some very good trends that kind of tell me she has her pulse on the market a little bit. If they're willing to make some key changes, we would want to help her with her product mix, because right now it's 33 listings, croc charms up to the tumblers. So we could really drive up her average order value, get some higher ticket items in here. Even using her same products and supplies, we could do a lot with that. I'm also noticing the SEO really needs help, as well as the descriptions. We need to have high converting descriptions that are optimized for mobile and desktop. So we'd want to update those as well, but tons of potential. I think this person could be doing Etsy full time if they wanted to. The next one is a clear SEO opportunity and photos as well, but I would say SEO even more so. Now, the thing that I'm noticing is that the way that the SEO is done here, it's very much describing the print on the nails. So for example, like this listing, right? It says black nails with blue, red, silver, gold, pink, purple foil. Maybe the person who would be interested in this isn't typing in black nails with blue, red, silver, gold, pink, purple. Maybe they don't realize they want all those colors on it, but that is our prime real estate for SEO. This is like the most valuable place to be putting your SEO. And we're using terms that probably aren't being searched in this way. That is something that would definitely help the shop get more traffic, be more competitive in search results. Also, new photos, 100%, and then a new pricing strategy would both be really beneficial, and she could get those implemented right away. The next shop is really interesting because it looks like it's been around for a while. It has over 4,000 orders, and it's been on Etsy since 2019. Now, I've been looking at their product mix, and they have a range of bracelets all the way down to rings. Now, what I really think is missing from this shop is something that's going to accelerate velocity of their sales. And what we call that is a loss leader. So it's something that's really meant to just drive up your order number. And I'm looking at what she has that's kind of a more mass appeal price point. I think these photos could totally be overhauled. I think she could use a total overhaul of the ring category here. And the point to be made here is that even a veteran shop, even if you have thousands of sales, you want to continue to evolve how you present your items. I also think she could be presenting her items in a more giftable way, specifically going into Q4. So a lot of opportunity, I would say, to overhaul the photos within this shop. The SEO in this shop also needs a big overhaul. I would be guessing that the traffic is maybe a little bit on the low side, but once they update that, they should see changes in their traffic within the month. All right, the next one is interesting. One thing I recommend doing if you are a brand new shop, I would actually just change the name. I would get your personal name out of your shop name. That will allow you to build a brand that is a more even sellable asset if you want, but not just that, it also just creates the perception of more of a professional company and business when you take your name out of it. Looks like it just launched, but the listings are missing so much. I would not put listings up that are incomplete. When someone comes to this listing, there's quite a bit of missing information that might leave them with questions. I would make sure to not launch my listings until they're completely optimized, and these ones might not sell until they are updated. The next thing I would really do for this shop is focus on who the customer is and start to build out a product mix for the customer. I'm not sure which direction she's gonna go. Is she gonna go with a full macrame shop? Is she gonna go with like a gift box, accessories kind of shop? Is this like a teenager shop or a grandma shop? I don't know yet. So I'd be focused on deciding who the customer is gonna be and then building out the product mix with different types of products to serve them in multiple ways for multiple years. Next one is beautiful wreaths, right? So she has beautiful wreaths. You could tell she knows her craft, but a couple things here. Shop name has her name in it, and it might be okay even more so for this type of customer. I would also redo all the branding. So up in your banner, we want this to be like premium product focused. Up here, the photos and everything, like you can tell there's a lot of detail on these wreaths. So you want to definitely showcase that up in your prime real estate, which is the banner. The next thing I would say is within these listings, something that would really help get them sold and moving faster and help convert people is showing size and scale through your photos. So that's one thing I would definitely be doing, whether it's her holding it out in front of her or having someone else holding it or having it on a chair, even like a normal sized chair that people would kind of understand the scale of this item. I think that would make a big difference. The other thing is she has wreaths, but if she knows how to make a wreath like this, she has a great skill set that she could be selling so much more. So a shop that does wreaths can do so much more with those materials. And I know because I use the same materials in my shop. If she has access to these materials and resources, and she has the skills to make wreaths, which are pretty time-intensive products, she could even drive up her average order value and her hourly wage. So a huge opportunity in front of a shop like this because of the materials they have access to and the skill set that they clearly have. Now, in this shop, this is interesting. They have all wax melts. So there's 10 listing, all wax melts. What I would recommend for this shop is they opened this year, so they seem like they still might have an opportunity to expand, but I would focus on expanding my product mix as fast as possible. Most likely, this shop is not going to be known for their wax melts in 3 years. And the reason I say this is because I know what sells well on Etsy at this point with this many students, and if she's willing to expand her product mix, I could almost guarantee that her shop's gonna be known for a different type of product. So the sooner she starts to add in additional types of products, they could be serving the same customer, I think she will grow way faster. And I really think it's the difference between ending up with 20 sales by the end of the year and ending up with like 500 sales by the end of the year. I would be focused heavily on that right now. The last example I want to show you has to do with how we look at trends and incorporating them into our Etsy shop. So this shop, they have some things in here that were trending like 5 to 7 years ago. I would say some of the font choices, the font combinations, some of the shadow box concept, doing it in this way. And the fact that this shop can personalize things and add names and dates, I think they're sitting on a big opportunity to do it in a more modern and trending way. So that goes with the product types, right? So maybe not as much of the black framed shadow boxes, but it also goes for the font choices that they use, the font combinations that they go with, and then also some of the graphics that they're bringing in. I think they could definitely kind of modernize and get their shop to be a little bit more trendy, and I think they're gonna grow so much faster if they do that. Those are a couple of the key things I would want to help them with. I hope you learned things in this video that you can take and apply to your own shop. If you would like us to look at your shop, don't forget to leave a comment below with your shop name, and then just let us know if you do it part-time as a hobby or if it's full-time for you, so we kind of know what angle to take on recommendations. If you want to connect with me, feel free to follow us on Instagram. You can reach out to us there if you have any questions, and if you want to learn more about the program, we'd be happy to share more details about that if you reach out, or you could just schedule a free call with the link below in the description box. Feel free to schedule a call and we can just take you through the details about what we do for Etsy sellers. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video.